Hello and welcome back to Rams Talk Podcast. And it's the exciting one today, the very exciting one. It is the season preview for Derby County for the 25-26 season. It feels like yesterday when we had that really boring draw at home to Stoke. And now we're off to Stoke again. Stoke away, kicking off the season. And it's going to be a very, very exciting season, I'm sure. Hopefully a little bit less tense than the last one. So you can tell this is a big episode because everyone's here. We start first with Jamie Page. How you doing, pal?
Yeah, well, I got the call back. Thanks for renewing the contract. It was good to finally thrash things out. 50p per episode, which has gone up from 20p. So, yeah, delighted to be back.
It's one of those desperation signings. Got close to the end of the window, just had to bring him back in. We knew he was reliable. And speaking of reliable, we've also got Callum Boocock. How you doing, pal?
I'm good. Well, I was doing good, and then I'm going to go to HR of Rams Talk now because he's got an increase, and I've been told I'm on the same deal.
You realise, Callum, you've got an incentive-based contract, so you got to perform if you want that 50p. And last, by his own request, we've got Adam Titley. How you doing, Adam?
I'm good. Apart from the cold, I've been struck down with. So yeah, I thought I'll go last here, be able to think of my answers with a bit more time, and yeah, be able to come out with some more long, drawn-out answers for everybody to enjoy.
And everyone cannot wait, including me. Worth noting, obviously, we're recording this just before the weekend, as everyone's away at the weekend. So we better not sign anyone, otherwise we might be talking some rubbish for the next hour or so. But what we want to do today is just have a look forward at Derby's season, make our picks for who we think is going to succeed, where we think Derby are going to do well, and where we think Derby will do this season. So hopefully it'll be interesting. And we'd love to hear your comments as well. So let us know in the live chat, let us know in the chat, and we'll be definitely keeping an eye on it and having a read and seeing what you guys think as well. See if you agree with us. You might agree with me. You probably won't agree with Jamie. So it'll be interesting to see what you say. So the very first thing I want to ask you, Jamie, is your thoughts ahead of the season, because last season was pretty painful. Let's not gloss over it. It was awful for the majority. The youth came in, saved us right at the end of the season.
I think the overriding emotion is one of excitement. I think Eustace gave us enough last season to be excited about. Now it's all down to 0 points on the board, and what can we do? I think the sky's the limit, really, and it's quite interesting to see rival fans say that we might be the dark horses this season. I'll take that.
It's funny, isn't it? Because I've seen others say that we're going to get relegated. So it's a bit of a mixed bag at the minute across the championship and the people that watch it. Callum, how are you feeling?
Pretty positive. As Jamie mentioned, we've done some good business early. I think a lot of it will still be to come over the next few weeks before the end of August. And I think from our perspective, we've kind of filled the holes we needed to fill. I think now we're just kind of trying to plug those gaps, get the squad depth up, and I think we're really, really positive going into the season with who we've recruited, the different markets we've explored so far, and kind of seen a different side to Derby County that we haven't seen for a few years just because of the situation we've been in and coming up from League One. So yeah, pretty positive.
Yeah, I think a manager, the fans properly back definitely helps. And Adam, last but certainly not least, how are you feeling?
Pretty confident, really. I think I'll just reiterate what Cal said, really, about padding out the squad with quality championship players. I think that was needed after last season being a pretty long season, I think is an easy way to describe it. And I'm just hoping that we can have a pretty comfortable mid-table finish. That would happily do me. Form up and down, but just middle of the table. That would be quite a welcomed season after the two quite entertaining seasons that we've had in the past two seasons. And yeah, I think we've got some exciting players with potential, but we've also got some players who are probably in their peaks of their career at the moment with us, with the likes of Colton Morris and other experienced players in the team. So I think it'll be an interesting season. Like Jamie said, I think the sky's the limit for really how we can do, but hopefully we'll be just that little bit further away from that relegation zone than we were last season come that final day.
Yeah, it'd certainly be nice going into the final day having nothing to worry about, unless it's positive worry, unless we're like, oh no, if we lose, we come fourth, something like that. That'd be a lot better to worry about. So what we're going to do, we're going to have a brief look through what we think are going to be sort of standouts this season. So firstly, Jamie, I want to know, which player do you think is going to stand out most for Derby this season?
It's a really good question, and I hope there's lots of players that stand out this season. I think that David Ozo is going to stand out this season. I think him coming back and hopefully staying fit, we saw glimpses of what he can do last season. I think he'll be one of the first names on the team sheet in that holding midfield player, because he allows players in front of him to go and express themselves. And I think he could be a very important player for this Derby County team. So providing he stays fit and well, I think we're going to see the best of David Ozo this season.
Yeah, that'd be good. It'd be nice to see him stand out instead of standing outside the physio office as well. That would make a big difference to this Derby team. So looking forward to seeing him back in black and white. Cal, who have you picked out?
I'm looking at a player that we did have at the back end of last year and signed a new deal, and that's Matt Clark. I think Matt Clark this season could really, really excel as our real key stone at the back. And I think we've seen the quality at the back end last year, especially under Eustace, what he can do. But I just think he's going to ooze quality and be that kind of centre half we haven't had for a number of years now, in my opinion. I think probably Erin Cashin's probably up there, but I think Matt Clark, for me, can even excel that.
Absolutely, mate. Let's hope so. And Adam, who are you thinking?
I think Colin Morris for me. I think a reliable player and experienced at this level, experienced at a high level as well, has been prolific in that too. I think if he stays fit, I think he'll be one of the first names on the team sheet this season. I think it'll be hard not to notice the positive impact he'll have on the team with his goals and his output, because I think he's probably going to be the focal point of that attack, since he's probably the most senior fit striker at the moment as we're recording at the start of the season. Obviously, we've got Adjumang and Salverson to come back, who I'm sure are going to be really, really good for this team, but not obviously straight away at the start of the season. So for me, I think Colton Morris, I've got a feeling he could be quite decent in terms of numbers for us for this season coming.
Yeah, and it's an interesting one. And when I think about it, I think will be someone like Owen Beck. I think he'll genuinely really stand out. Derby fans love players that fight, have passion, and give everything for the badge. And I think, despite being on loan, he'll be one of them. Made a big impact at Blackburn last season as well. So he'd certainly be a nice one. And we know how Derby fans are. Adam, that was naive of you for selecting a player that, unless he scores 38 goals, is going to be nowhere near the reckoning for player of the season. We all know how it works. The centre-back or holding middle with it. So, we'll have to see. I'm sure we'll have to see. This is an interesting one. Obviously, Jamie, we are recording this with 30-something days of the transfer window left. So this could very quickly change. But of the players we've signed so far, who's your sign of the season? Who do you think is going to be the biggest impact on the pitch that we've brought in this summer?
Are we talking loans? Are we talking perms? Are we talking
everything, mate? We're talking everything.
I think the player that you just mentioned, Owen Beck, I think that potentially could be the signing of the summer. And I saw the compilation that a Blackburn fan did for his first game against Burnley. And like you say there, he's blood and thunder, passion, guts. You can probably use every word under the sun that is similar to that. So he'll get Derby fans on side quite quickly. And again, it's one of those, got to stay injury free, got to have a prolonged period of time in the squad. But he just looks like the real deal. And, it's always exciting when a player signs a contract before going out on loan. It's like, okay, we know why you're coming out on loan, but we also see that you potentially have a future at arguably the best club in the world at the moment. So yeah, it's an exciting one. Let's see what happens. Obviously, Callum's going to be upset because Callum Elder's going to be on the bench, but I'll just be expecting Callum just to sit just behind Callum Elder on the bench so that he can be closed and maybe have a little chat with him and stuff.
Yeah, you can give him a reassuring pat on the shoulder every time Beck wins a tackle or something, just to, it's all right, Callum, you are good, mate. I believe in you. I still believe in you. I can picture that right now. Callum, who have you got in mind, mate?
Yeah, I've not gone for Owen Beck.
Out of hate.
Just pure like jealousy. But yeah, I am actually going to go with David Ozo. I think getting him back is and listening to his interview saying that there was no other club that he wanted to come back to and finish the business. That mentality of a lone player for me that's a Premier League team who could have kind of gone anywhere this summer and back out on loan, and he wanted to, and he felt that he needed to finish something that he didn't get to do last season due to his injury. And I think injury-free, he could be an absolute monster in that midfield.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like there's a little bit in there of, if I go to Derby, I'm definitely going to play because I've got no one else that can do that. But no, it is good to see. It's good to have players wanting to come back, especially, like you said, he barely featured last season, so it'd be good for him to get more involved. Adam, what are you thinking, mate?
I was going to say Owen Beck, but I'll go in my next choice with Patrick Hadjimang. I think he, for me, is a signing who I think for me is a signing that almost probably for me has to be the signing of the season as well for the fee. I know we shouldn't pile that pressure on a player, but it's a massive signing for us, that sort of money and that sort of transfer fee. And for me, with his record at international level, I'm hoping he can produce straight away as soon as he's fit. Obviously, I know he's not going to produce while he's injured. But yeah, I'm hoping as soon as he's fit, we can see the quality that he has. And for me, I think if he is put in the team straight away or builds up some form, I think he's going to be quite prolific for us. So yeah, I'll go with Patrick Hadjimang.
Yeah, and to be honest, I was thinking the same thing, Adam. So I was devastated when you started saying his name. But I think so for similar reasons. I think he's different to anything we've had in a long time. Carlton Morris has shown in his appearances so far, he's big, he's strong. But I think Hadjimang's going to be another level. He'll be able to run through defenders in ways that I don't think we've seen a Derby striker do in a long, long time. So I'm really looking forward to seeing him in black and white. And yeah, hopefully he can start firing the goals in nice and early, get himself ready for the World Cup, and we've got someone to cheer on in the summer as well, which would be nice. Right, next one is top scorer. Probably quite heavily overlaps for me and Adam. Jamie, who do you think is going to be Derby's top goal scorer this season?
Well, the question from pre-season, if Blackett-Taylor is on the pitch, is he on pens? Because that is a key thing here. I don't think he will be, and that's why my answer is going to be Carlton Morris. I think he is the only person in this team that I feel fairly confident will score over 10 goals. I think we need goals from all areas of the pitch this year and hope that's the case. But he's been around the block. He knows what he's doing. The fact that he's on penalties, you can kind of give him 3 or 4 off the bat. So, yeah, for me, it's got to be Carlton Morris. I
like it. Cal?
Yeah, I've gone Carl Morris as well. I just think that he's going to have a head start over the other two in terms of the striking department, in terms of being fit. And I think the supply, if he can get supply, he'll just be in there in the box, fox in the box, and just tapping him in. And I think he's that poaching striker as well as being the big target man that we've been after. I think just be very interesting to see how much game time he gets when Hadjimang and Salverson are both fit, when we've got all 3 of them fit.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to see that. Oh no, we've got loads of strikers. What are we going to do? Get Yates on,
Sign another one.
Sign another one. Get more in. Adam, what do you think, pal?
I'm just going to go with the same, Carlton Morris. I think for me, I feel like he's going to be, I've just got a feeling he's going to be fit and reliable for pretty much the whole season. And with that, I think he'll be the focal point for the goals. Obviously, Hadjimang coming back to fitness sort of at the start of the season, a month or 2 in, and probably the same with Salverson as well, I guess. But yeah, for me, I think Carlton Morris, reiterate what Jamie and Cal have said, but I think obviously I'm hoping he's going to be fit for the main part of the season. I feel like he'll be the main focal point of that attack.
Yeah, and I'm going to go with Rian. Actually, no. Yeah,
I was going to say the same thing.
I can't go with the same as everyone else because that would be really boring. Yeah. So I'm going to go with 3 players that are all going to score exactly 10 goals. And it's going to be Patrick Hadjimang, it's going to be Carlton Morris, and it's going to be Lars-Jørgen Salverson when he's back for his knee injury. I think the 3 of them between them will hit 30 goals, and then we'll win the league. So, yeah, that's my call. I think it could be any of them. It genuinely could be any of them. I think all 3 of them are genuinely really good goal scorers at this level and potentially even a higher level as well for a couple of them too. So, yeah, it'll be good to see what they can do. Which leads us on to the very exciting one. Which is surprise player of the season. Now, this could be, well, that was a surprise by Jamie then. He just went giant on the screen. That scared the life out of me. Surprise player of the season is, we thought they weren't very good. They turned out to be quite good. It could be a new player. It could be an old player, It has to be a positive surprise, though. It can't be, I thought he was going to be rubbish, and he was. We're thinking good things, Jamie. So what are you thinking, mate? What are you thinking?
Well, that was a very good impression of me, actually. So I must
thanks, mate.
Well, look, I'm first, so I'll go with the obvious, because we all want this to be the case, and Blackett Taylor is going to be my answer. I think pre-season he's looked sharp, he's looked good. Again, it's a situation of, can he stay fit? Can he take the opportunity when he gets it? It looks likely that he's going to get the opportunity maybe in the first couple of games to keep the shirt. And I think he's one of those players, and potentially we're going to have a few this season, that if they've got the confidence, they could potentially be a game changer. So, yeah, hoping that we see the best of CBT. We've lost, obviously, our NML, so we need somebody else to fill that wide position and be able to score goals and create stuff out wide. So for me, I think Corey's got to get that.
Absolutely. I did not realise that was the end of your sentence. Cal, what are you thinking?
So I went with Callum Elder last year. I can't do it again because it looks like Owen Beck's going to take his spot. So I'm actually going to go with a player who I know has got the ability, but last year struggled. I'm going to go with Kenzo Halbmine. And it's only because last year he struggled to get into the team. He struggled to cement a starting position and really a position within the Derby team. Everyone thinks his best position's a 10. He's been playing as kind of that 8 and sometimes a 6. Obviously, we've now had Ozo come in, but I just think he's going to get game time this year, and I hope he does, because I think he's got the ability to do it, and I hope he proves it and proves that he can be a championship player that we all know he can be.
Well, some of his passing in pre-season has been unbelievable, hasn't it? Some of the through balls, that Burton one's probably the best example. Killer ball, split the defence open, and if we can get him in that number 8 or number 10 position, whichever, and get him playing passes around with the protection of the likes of Ozo or someone else behind him, that'd be very nice as well, wouldn't it? So good shout. Adam, who are you thinking?
I'll go the same as Cal. I'll go Kenzo Halbmine. Like Cal said, towards the end of the season, he wasn't really favoured by Eustace, but that was probably down to the fact we were digging in games and needed that physicality to see some games out and win the loose balls. And Halbmine, that's not his strength. Like we've said, we've seen him in pre-season play a bit more of a deeper role, which I'm not convinced by yet. But I still think in that team, he's the player with the most quality in terms of technical ability. I think it's so obvious to see that he's played in the European competition. I think he reads the game differently to most of our players, which I think is a big bonus quality. And if he does get that game time from the start, I think away from home, he was quite key at the start of last season, even when we were struggling. I thought he read the game really well and was one of our standout performers. So for me, Kenzo Halbmine.
Yeah, and Halbmine's form dropped when Ozo got injured. I think it's quite a big thing. So if Ozo can stay fit and provide that protection and bulk up the midfield, hopefully it'll open some doors for Kenzo as well. And mine is a player that I don't think's been talked about anywhere near enough. A man who I thought was going to bury an overhead kick on his first appearance back at Derby. I'm going Andy Weimann. I think Andy Weiman's kind of been forgotten a little bit, maybe because he's been injured for a lot of pre-season. But I don't think he's going to start every game. I don't think he's going to, be one of those where he's hitting 20 goals in a season, 10 assists, and we're thinking, wow. But I think he's going to pop up with so many important goals this season. We're pushing at the end. We've got players like Adjamang on. We've got Morris on. We've got Salverson on. We're really pushing for goals. But the man that will come up with the goal or the assist, the magic moment's going to be Andy Weimann. He's got a really good history of that. And I think maybe he's being slept on a little bit at the moment. So, it'd be good to see Weimann hit form in a Derby shirt. And that takes us to our last player one, which is Academy Breakthrough Star. Now, we've seen a lot of the Academy in pre-season, a lot of them, and I've actually been really impressed with a fair few of them. I think there's going to be a pretty obvious choice that's going to be picked out maybe by one or two here. But Jamie, of the Academy players, which one do you think this season might make an impact on the first team?
Well, it's a really good question, because what we'll see is some of the academy play for the B team and obviously play for the academy. You might also see a couple of players go out on loan. I think Dijon Brown's probably got to go out on loan. It's a difficult one, because as much as I would like to see academy players come through, sometimes that is because of shortages around injury or maybe poor form and stuff like that. So I hope we don't see too many, but I don't think you can really look past Charles. You're going to have to say it, Jake, because I can't pronounce the name. I'm very sorry.
Agba. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. God, say it. Sorry. Agba Wood Ikizu.
Agba Bakizu. Close.
Yeah, sure. We'll take
yeah,
that.
Close. Yeah. But yeah, been really impressed with him. He looks the real deal, doesn't he? I mean, yes, it is pre-season. We can't get too carried away. But I really, really liked his finish the other night. I thought it had a bit of everything. It had a bit of the movement, the first touch. You know, a finish like that at that age is pretty incredible. And he has been putting up some trees in the academy as well. So, yeah, I think we've got to get him tied down. We've got to get him on a contract. But what might happen, what I envisage, is that he may almost take Dijon Brown's space in the first team at the start of the season, so that Dijon Brown can go out alone and get some experience. But yeah, I think for me that's going to be the breakout star.
I still can't believe he's 17. I
No,
can't
crazy.
around that. I didn't realise. I thought he was older than that. And yeah, after that Burton game when he rolled that, seasoned professional centre back like he wasn't there and hit the bar, I looked, he was 17. I was like, oh my God. He's definitely got a good future ahead of him. And to be honest, Jamie, I think you're right. I think Dijon Brown will go out on loan, and yeah, Agba Ikizu will take his place. Callum, who are you thinking, mate?
I'm going with Turley. I think
that was mine.
Yeah.
Take it back. Choose someone else.
I just think because Nyambe's still coming back, and don't get me wrong, he actually got up quite good when he came back on Tuesday. But yeah, I think with Kane Wilson out and we haven't signed another first team player, I think Eustace is looking at Turley going, well, you've got an opportunity here to either not maybe cement a first team space, because I think when Kane Wilson and Nyambe are fit, he'll be kind of the third choice, but I think he can definitely be a bench option for at least the first 2 or 3 games.
Yeah, I agree, unfortunately. Adam, what do you reckon, mate?
I don't think I can say Jake Rooney, because he comes through for
39, isn't he?
It's a bit harsh, isn't it? But I think I'll go with Dijon Brown for me. I don't think he's been given a good crack in the first team yet for me, if we're classing that as a breakthrough, which I know he went out on loan to Gateshead. I think for me, that value of men's football competitively for a number of games is really crucial and key. And he's probably got that. Obviously, he's got that over quite a few of the other academy players he's coming through with. Like you say, I probably think Agba Ikizu, I hope I pronounced that right.
That's close enough. We'll tell you that's better than Jamie's.
Better than mine.
We'll probably take his spot based on the form he's in and how good he's been in the academy and the fact that he looks like he's really taking his opportunity. But I still think Dijon Brown has a lot of quality and shown it before against men's sides. So I think for me, if he's still around come the end of the transfer window in a Derby County shirt and he's in around the first team squad, I think we'll get a couple of goals from Dijon Brown and probably be a player that I think most people forget has that experience, and last season was probably the player that we all wanted to break through.
Yeah, definitely. I'd be surprised though, mate.
And Jake Rooney as well.
Obviously, Jake Rooney, yeah, famously from the Derby Academy, joining at age 18 from Burnley. But we'll look past it. And yeah, I don't want to reluctantly say Turley now, but it's for the same reasons as Callum said. Either Turley or Isaac Gordon. I think both of them have been really impressive this pre-season. And yeah, with the issues that we've got at right back, Joe Ward seems to be alive again, which is a miracle. Nyambe was doing ball rolls and going for nutmegs in the corner against Solihull, so maybe he's changed. And obviously we've got Kane Wilson to come back as well, but none of them are fully fit yet. So yeah, I can imagine one of those younger lads will get a spot in the squad early in the season, and you'd like to hope if given the opportunity, they'd definitely take it. Right. That's individuals. Let's move on to the team. Now, we've seen Derby recruit in quite a few areas this season. We've seen in the pre-season games some of the strengths and weaknesses of the team. Jamie, which areas of the team are you most excited to see Derby use? You know, which positions and which parts of the squad are you most looking forward to seeing in a Derby shirt?
Well, I think defensively, we look really good. I think if you look at our goalkeepers and our defence, I think we look pretty solid. And I think when we're talking about aspirations for the season and where we're putting our defence, midfield and attack, if you were to split those, in my opinion, I think we have got, top half defence and goalkeeper department. The fact that we've been able to seemingly keep Josh Vickers at the club as well is good. He looks happy in training and all the promotions that Rams TV had put out. So hopefully he stays. And I think that's two really good goalkeepers that are pushing each other each day in training. We obviously know that we've got Langas to come back, but Danny Batt will be obviously deputising and looks like he, I know he's had a couple of shaky moments pre-season, but he's very experienced at this level. And then we've added quality on the left-hand side that we've not had in a little while. So, yeah, the real testament to the defence will probably be how many games does Craig Forsyth play this season? Because if he plays as many as he did last season, then it's probably not as strong as we're thinking it is. But yeah, I just think defensively we look sound and we've got a good foundation to build from, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think I probably agree. Cal, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I mean, defence it was going to be a man's, but I'm going to switch it up just for the listeners and viewers. I'm going to say the actual striking number 9 department. I think when they're all fit, I think all three have a shout to be the starting number 9 if we play one up top. If we decide to play 2 up top, then they're very, very competitive in this division in terms of a front 2. So, yeah, I mean, Salverson, we thought was going to come in last season and obviously did pick up an injury, but when he played, had an immediate impact and looked a very competent and good number 9 for the division. Adjumang, obviously, we're going to have to wait and see, but from what we've seen on his clips and the way he's played for the American national team, he looks a very good, shrewd pickup. And then obviously Carlton Morris, we've seen in pre-season very, very small glimpses, again, what we've seen, and we know what he can do at Luton. So I think the striking department, considering we started last season with, Collins and it's a very much of an improved striking department compared to last season. Yes, I will slander him, mate.
Yeah, the level difference is astronomical. We've got, a full American international. We've got a guy that just over a season ago hit double figures in the Premier League. And, we've got Salverson, who was in really good form before he came to us over the pond as well. So, we've ended up signing some quite good players, and we don't have to watch Collins limp around for 9 minutes at the end of every game, touching the ball about 2 times. We've got genuine dangers off the bench that can make a difference. Sorry, Jamie. I know you love James Collins, mate. I won't slander him too much. He looks really sad, Callum. He looks really upset now. You're right, Jamie.
No, it's both of you. I expect it from you, Jake, but Callum, we have to have words after this.
Great stuff. And Adam, where are you feeling most confident, mate?
I agree with Cal. I think the attackers, the strikers, I feel like this season, if the ball goes up into that final third, there's a high chance that we'll put it in the back of the net with the quality we've got up top. I think there's also that excitement of an unknown signing, a player that most Derby County fans won't have watched before in Adjumang as well. And he comes with that international ability, good form at international level as well. So I think there's a lot of excitement to do with the strikers this season. Like you mentioned, Callum Morris, who's prolific and has quality at a high level. So for me, this season, it feels like if the ball ends up at the striker's feet or in the air, there's quite a high chance that we might put it in the back of the net. So I'm hoping for a few more goals this season, especially away from home. And it's quite exciting.
And they are an upgrade on James Collins, aren't they, Adam? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I won't jump in on this. I'll stay
Great stuff. And yeah, I think I agree. I think in goal we're really solid. We've got 2-3 really good goalkeepers, and our back 4 now Beck's come in looks pretty complete, I'd say. I think we've got good cover in every single position. Yes, we're missing a couple at the minute, but 4 or 5 games into the season, we'll have a pretty solid defence. And like I say, up front, we look really, really dangerous, don't we? We've got 3 players minimum that can really do some damage. And, Andy Vyman's played a big part of his career up front as well. So, you put those together and suddenly you've got a few different dimensions, and Derby look quite dangerous. But we have to move on to the areas we're a little bit nervous about. Like we said, obviously there's still 30-something days of the transfer window to go. But Jamie, are there any areas of the team that you look at and think,
Yeah, well, I think the obvious one, and probably to steal everyone's answer, is in wide areas. I think we're still missing 2, maybe 3. I think we're potentially relying on CBT and Caden Jackson to be able to pull up trees. And as we saw last season, there were times where both didn't deliver or weren't on the pitch. So, yeah, as much as I'm excited about the number 9s, you obviously need people that can give them service, can get to the byline, can take players on. We've obviously heard in interviews that Andy Vyman doesn't see himself as a wide player, so don't think he'll be out there. There's been a couple of calls to see Kane Wilson as a bit further forward, which is an interesting one. Obviously, we've not seen him in pre-season, so we've not seen if that is something that Eustace would want to do. But I could back that, I think, as long as we've got the right person at right back. So, yeah, I think in wide areas, we're probably 2 or 3 short. And maybe that means that we're going to have to dip into a loan market and bring in an exciting Premier League loan, or potentially another player like Ryan Brewster. It's out there at the moment. Am I giving away the secret? Sorry.
No one's reported on it, thankfully. So.
No. Well, obviously, when it comes from Radio Derby and when it comes from certain media outlets, that's when you have to start taking it seriously. So, yeah, it's an exciting signing if it happens. For me, I think he's versatile. We can play anywhere across the front 3. So, a player like that for me.
What happened to no talking about players we don't own, Jamie? That's not gone very well.
I'm getting excited. I'm getting excited for the season, Jamie.
Let's talk about the wide areas. We're struggling.
I tell you what.
What will happen is this is obviously going to go live on Sunday, and probably an hour before he'll be in a Pompey shirt or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, Alex Salah playing those diagonals over to Brewster, that'd be lovely, wouldn't it? We all want to see that. Callum, I'm guessing you're probably thinking a similar thing. Where do you think we're struggling?
Yeah, wide areas. Totally agree with everything Jamie said. But I am actually going to say the number 10. I think Vyman obviously is still coming back to fitness, so and I'm very intrigued to see him in that number 10 position, because I think that's where he'll probably fit in. Kenzo we haven't seen there, so I can't say he's going to be a number 10 this season. So for me, we're still missing like an out and out 10 that's kind of played there every single week and can compete with Vyman, because I can see Kenzo kind of being played everywhere within the central midfield. So yeah, I think we need still someone in that creative pocket. And I don't think we've had one in any capacity since Mount. So yeah, I want a number 10. If we can get someone like Mount, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, does he fancy it?
Probably. He doesn't get much game time at the moment, so it's fine.
Get him back. And Adam, what do you reckon, mate?
I was going to say the wingers, but I think that's a given. Like Jamie said, no, probably once again agree with Carl. I think for me, I'm not a huge fan of Ebu Adams in that number 10 that we've seen in pre-season. If I'm right in saying that, he's been quite far forward. I think he's looked quite sharp and he's looked quite match fit and ready, but we've been playing opposition that aren't the standard we're going to be playing come the season. And is he going to be able to do as much chasing as what he's doing and winning the ball back against higher quality opposition in that number 10? Not fully convinced. I think it's going to be a little bit more difficult. I still think he'll have a good impact there and he's improved a lot, but I just prefer him a little bit further back, whether that's in central midfield or further back still. So I think we either need to decide that Kenzo's going to play there or Adams for definite, but at the minute I think it's kind of up for grabs, that spot, just in behind the striker if we play that way, unless we sign anyone. But for me, I think it's a position that's a little bit up in the air at the moment.
You know what's quite funny, and this is something that I didn't actually realise until I looked. Derby's best form over the last 2 years, all of our best runs have come with Adams as playing as the most forward midfielder. So that run towards the end of the season when we got promoted, Adams played in front of majoritively Corey Smith and Max Bird. And then last season, obviously, Adams was further forward and he had Tomo and Armstrong behind him. It seems weird, doesn't it? Because I agree with you, Adam. I don't know if I rate Adams in that position yet. Every time Adams plays that position, he plays really well a lot of the time, and we tend to win. So it doesn't make a lot of sense, that one. But I think he's very different if you played Andy Weimer as some sort of Football Manager shadow striker. I think that's probably more what Eustace will be aiming for. But yeah, it is interesting to see that, yeah, we seem to play our best football with Ibu charging around like a crazy man with two slightly more disciplined people behind him. And I think I probably agree. I'd say that three behind the striker. I think we definitely need to recruit in that area before the season starts, because we need someone that can play on the right. Let's be honest, we need someone that can play on the right. The second, I'd kind of believed in Jackson. I thought he had it, and then he let that ball roll under his foot at the edge of the box against Burton, and all hope was lost in my head. So it'd be nice to see us get an actual genuine winger to play on that right-hand side, maybe get another one that can play on the left to help Blackett Taylor out, if he can't stay fit. And we probably need someone behind. And I'd probably say one more. I'd like to see us have one more out-and-out holding mid. I know Ozo's good. I have slight worries about him staying fit. Obviously that's standard. He's probably not even an injury-prone player, but he's just had a rough season. I'd like us to bring someone else in. Ozo's very much a bit of a destroyer, ball carrier. I'd love us to bring in an Armstrong type, ball player out from the back that can do a bit of scrapping as well, and bring a bit of competition in. That's all right, isn't it? That'd be nice too. So we'd be pretty stacked. But maybe I asked for too much. Who knows? But I think everywhere else on the pitch, we're starting to look pretty good. We're looking very mid-table championship, and I don't think that's an insult. I think that's a really big positive. And that leads us on to the hardest question of all. Where are Derby County going to finish this season? Now, I think this is going to be a mixed bag. We mentioned at the start, some people have tipped us for top 6. Some people have tipped us to get 3 points all season. It seems to be very much no one has a clue what sort of entity Derby are going to be. But what we know, John Eustace is quite good at managing. That's one thing that we can take from what we've seen so far. Jamie, I'd like to hear your rationale before you tell us where you think we're going to finish.
So I was saying earlier about kind of splitting the goalkeepers, defenders, midfielders and attackers, and kind of understanding where I think they fit in the division. So I did take that into consideration. I did take into consideration the fact that had Eustace been manager for the whole season, we would have been pushing the playoffs with the squad that he had. So you have to think about that as well. The other thing that you have to think about is I think this league is stronger this year because you've got the likes of Wrexham and Birmingham with their
Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah, true. Yeah, not them. But obviously, some of the promoted teams with their Amazon documentaries or their Disney Plus documentaries, that they're getting a bit of following, and I think the clubs that have obviously come down from the Prem as well, they're going to be there or thereabouts. So, with that in mind, and I am very happy if this happens, I think Derby County are going to finish 12th.
Nice one. And anyone from the Welcome to Wrexham team, just send us a DM, guys. We'll happily come on. Don't worry about it. We'll do it. Don't worry. We'd love to. We would love to be there. Callum, go on. Give us your rationale. Where do you think we're going to finish?
Yeah, I think we're going to have a positive season. I think the track record of John Eustace, he goes and stabilises a club, he keeps them up, and then the following season he gets them in the top 6. So
leaves.
Yeah. So he's going to change that mantra, but yeah. But no, I think we are going to have a good season. I think the recruitment that we've done so far shows that when we have a manager that kind of has that pull, we can pull in some good quality talent, and I think if we have them all fit, and I think that's the biggest one. If everyone stays fit, and we actually have a good season of everyone staying on the green grass. I am going to say we are going to finish 9th.
Oh, I like it. Bold choice. And it was also my choice, Callum. So now I've got to pick a different number.
You're going to have to do the reaction. Do the reaction again. Oh,
no! Go on, Adam. What do you think?
I think we're going to have a positive season. I think what's in the back of my mind is how bad we were for 3/4 of last season with quite a few of the same players, being truth be told. I think we've got a good starting 11, though. A good starting 11 who can match 80% of the teams in the division. I think we're quite far off that top 6, so I'm not going to predict us to be in there by any means. But I think we've got a good starting 11, and if they stay fit for the majority, I think we'll see some good form. I think we'll see up and down periods with the team that we've got, and the fact that probably the young players are the squad depth, and they're unproven, and they'll go up and down through form. So I'm going to say we'll finish 13th. I think it'll be a very up and down season, but quite positive considering we're coming off the back of a season where it was just stay up. So, taking all things considered with the current team we've got, I'll say 13th.
13th, I like it. And I mean, I feel less delusional now. Cal said 9th. It made me feel a bit better about myself, unless we're both delusional, and that's absolutely fine. But I think we've got a lot to look forward to this season. I think this is going to be one of them seasons that hopefully we remember for the right reasons. The way Eustace got that team playing at the end of last season was pretty phenomenal. I mean, if you look at some of the players and where they've ended up going, obviously Barkhuizen and Mendes Lang have ended up in League Two, just to name a couple, and Harness has gone down to League One. A lot of the players that really turned up, and Jerry Yates is linked with a move to Blackpool at the minute, obviously back down to League One as well. A lot of the players that played a big part in Derby staying up last season have ended up dropping 1, maybe 2 divisions. And I think the fact that John Eustace got that much out of that group of players says a lot. So I think 10th I'm going to go with. I'll go with 10th. I was going to say 9th, but I don't want to be too brave. I don't want to be Cal. So I'll say 10th. And if we get relegated, Cal will be the one that gets hammered for it now. But we've just got a bit of depth in a few areas. Last season, we had so many areas where we had no depth at all. Midfield. The second Ozo went out, we're screwed. We literally couldn't do anything for ages because we just didn't have the players and we didn't have the system. And I think now we've built a bit of a squad. We've got some good squad players that have come in, and now we're bringing in some real, proper marquee signings, the likes of Ajamang, and obviously in January we signed Langus and stuff like that. We've got a few really good players that are looking up in their careers. They're not dropping down to come to Derby. They're coming to Derby to try and improve, and I think that'll spur them on and hopefully give us a bit more momentum. So I'm going to go 10th. James, did you say 13th?
I said 12th.
You said 12th. Adam said 13th. Callum said 9th. I said 10th. So RamsTalk say we're going to finish 11th this season. There we go. Nice easy number. Up the Rams. Yeah, we'd take 11th. We would take 11th. I would snap your hands off right now for 11th. So one very final thing before we finish. I want a rogue prediction for this season. Now, I didn't tell the lads I was going to ask this. They would have seen it if they opened the banners on StreamYard. But rogue prediction, Jamie. I want somewhere outside the box here. I want somewhere where people are going to be questioning your sanity. What are you thinking?
I mean, the first thing that popped into my mind, you're all going to hate. So I don't know if I should say it or not. I'll go with it, and then maybe you can come back to me for a more of a safe one. I think that Patrick Ajimang is not going to score a league goal for Derby County next season.
That's not rogue. That's just hatred.
It's rogue. It's rogue.
I tell you what, that would be up there with one of the worst signings ever if that happens. So let's hope that doesn't happen. Callum, you got one that will make listeners smile and not cry or feel sad?
I am going to say that a central defender is going to be in their top 3 goal scorers for us this season. I think we're going to score quite a lot from set pieces.
Is that even rogue?
There's top 3, considering the amount of firepower we now have up top.
That's true. Forsyth worried. His top 3 goals and assist record is a threat here. Adam, what do you reckon?
I think Corey Blackett-Taylor will have a superb first half of the season, and then he'll leave in January for a decent fee.
What, to MK Dons?
No, I think he'll get a decent move if he has some good form with us, because he's quite an exciting player, and that's what I've got. Well, my other one was that Charles Ebukwezu is going to leave before the start of the season to a Premiership club's academy.
Wow, that's more depressing.
Can I say another one that
Go on.
Jamie's actually going to be able to pronounce Ibuka's name by the end of the season?
Yeah, that's rogue. That is rogue.
That is rogue. That is really rogue. I think mine's going to be, I think Zetterstrom's going to get a goal involvement this season.
Interesting.
Yeah.
He goes through the whole
I think it's
season not
either
wearing
gonna
his
be-
cap either.
Yeah, it's either going to be a long throw. Yeah. No, that's not rogue. That's normal now. I think he's going to have a long throw or a big hoof, and he's going to get a goal involvement this season. So that's my my rogue prediction. Which would
I do have one more. I've just thought of it.
Oh, go on.
I want look to the listeners. I want to cancel out my previous comment. Okay,
He doesn't mean that. He's lying.
I do believe he's going to score. Well, we saw it announced earlier that Derby are going to play Leicester City on ITV. I think we are going to thrash Leicester City on ITV so the world can watch.
The world, aka the UK.
UK, yeah. Can you get it abroad? I don't know. Maybe you can't. But the world
UK
is the UK to me.
And everyone with a VPN will be roaring Derby on. I'm sure on that one. No, that'd be good. Any more before we go?
Eustace leaves when we're in the top six.
What is with
Paul
you?
Warren comes
Adam
back in and keeps us on.
Where does he go?
Whoever's in
Not
the bottom three.
Premiership. Yeah, don't know. That was just me joking
Charlton.
around. I don't think he'll leave.
St.
Hope he
Pauli.
doesn't.
He'll go abroad. Where the Espanyol.
There's a reason we're playing this Greek side on Saturday.
A Tromitos, yeah, they're scouting. They need a new manager. I was reading up on some of their history. It's bizarre the way the team actually at one point got relegated to the third tier, but another team folded, so they took their place in the Prem. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine Derby?
So they're basically the Greek version of Derby County, then. So we should,
pretty much, yeah. So yeah, very cool. But yeah, thank you so much for listening. If you did enjoy, please do leave a like. Please do subscribe. Give us a rating, especially on Apple Pods. It'd be nice to have some good ratings on there. We've got loads and loads of ratings on Spotify, but much fewer on Apple Pods. So it'd be nice to get some 5 stars. We'd be really grateful for that. And yeah, if you do want to leave a comment with all of your signings of the season, top scorer, etc., all the talking points from today, then please do leave them below. We'll have a read of all of them. If you want to tell Callum he knows nothing about football, that's always welcome too. You know, we do that, but sometimes we just need a bit of outside influence to, you know, push him to the brink a little bit ahead of the season. So that would be very much appreciated too. So thank you for joining us. Hopefully it's a great season for Derby. Hopefully we're not hanging around at the bottom of the league. Hopefully John Eustace, Corey Blackett-Taylor, if he's good, and every other player that Adam wanted to leave is still here at the end of the season if they play well. And it is goodbye from me.
It is goodbye from me. Look forward to the start of the season. We're going to have a better one. We're going to have a better one as a pod, a better one as a fan base, and we'll all be smiling, even me.
The Rams are staying 9th. Oh, you know. Goodbye from me.
I think you mixed 2 songs there.
Oh, man. Oh, that was.
We don't practice the goodbyes. We really need to practice the goodbyes. We've done it enough.
Really bad.
Don't know how I'll follow that. Hopefully, it's a good season. Let's look forward to Stoke away, and goodbye from me.
Agba Wadi Kizu. Right, we'll see you later. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you.